this lesson, we're going to review the choose formula. The choose formula is used to index a number and return a desired comment based on the number. This is a formula that I recently discovered and I've started using more often because it allows you to apply a characteristic associated with a certain number. Let's take a look at the formula first and then jump into an example. The formula is pretty simple. It's just equal to choose, open parentheses, then your index number, and then you can select value 1, value 2, etc. So the index number is the value argument that's selected. It must be a number between 1 and 254, that's the limitation, or a formula or a reference to a number between 1 and 254. The values, i.e. you can use values 1, 2, etc., can be cell references, define names or formulas, functions, text arguments, etc. They must be in sequential order. So for instance, if you choose a range to index and perform a lookup on a value range, the first value will be returned for the first number indexed. Now let's take a look at an example so that we can apply this in practice. In our example, we want to insert a column to the right side of individuals' names. So as you can see in column D, we have the name of individuals. In column E, we have their GPA, and in column F, we want to make a comment. So these comments were the result of applying the choose formula. The idea here is that we want to apply a certain qualitative comment associated with a mathematical grade that has been achieved by each individual. So for Matthew, he has a GPA of 3, and we want to indicate good beside a GPA of 3. For Rehan, we want to indicate outstanding for a GPA of 4, and Wyatt, a GPA of 2 results in average. Now, how does that get populated? Well, what we're doing in column F is we're applying the choose formula, and it's doing a lookup of our comments that we defined, poor, average, good, or outstanding, in column H, and that's mapped to certain values. So the poor comment is mapped to values 1, average is mapped to a GPA of 2, good is mapped to a GPA of 3, and outstanding is mapped to a GPA of 4. This is just one example of how we could apply the choose formula. Of course, you could create your own qualitative criteria and data table to be able to apply comments to the statistics that you have in your financial model. So the formula works as follows. Let's open up cell D27. First we type equals choose, open parentheses, and then we select the index number. So that is in regards to the value which we want to analyze. And in this case, it's cell E27, i.e. the GPA of 3. So we want to apply a comment to a GPA of 3. And we perform that lookup into the data table that's located in column H, starting on H27 through H30. Now, the way this works is we don't select the entire array or data table that contains our comments. Instead, we individually select each of the comments. So as you can see in the formula explanation, we mentioned that it must be a number between 1 and 254. And so the way in which we set up the choose formula is we consider value 1 to be the first item we select. And so I'm selecting poor as the first value. If I wanted 1 to be the first value, then I would have selected H30. But in this case, I want 1 to be assigned with poor, so H27. Next, I separate that with a comma and select value 2, which is average, H28, and then H29 and H30 for good and outstanding. So sequentially, that's going to tell the formula that if cell E27 contains a 1, then return value 1, which is poor. If it contains a 2, then return H28, value 2, which is average. If it contains a 3, and in this case it does, for Matthew, he obtained a GPA of 3, then the formula will return the third value, which is good, and that's in cell H29. And finally, if the GPA is 4, then value 4 has been set to H30, which is outstanding. Now, I could change the comments to say unsatisfactory instead of poor, and that's going to modify the comments within my data table for values that were represented as 1. If I were to change that back to poor, and then let's say I want to make the GPA 1.5 or 1.9 or 1.99, it's still going to stay as poor, but the moment I change it to 2, it's going to move up to average. If I put in 0.8, it's undefined because it has to be at least 1. If I were to put in 2.2, it's going to stay at average, and that's going to be the case until I go all the way up until 3. And at that point, it becomes good, because good is the third item that I selected in the value list within the formula. So that's how the choose formula works within Microsoft Excel. Hey guys, thanks for watching this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe from you. And if you want to learn more about Microsoft Excel, check out these videos above. And don't forget to check out our website, commercecurve.com, where we have lots of in-depth finance and accounting courses available with full training workbooks. All of our courses come with complete workbooks of lessons, examples, pre-built financial models, and training video. Hope to see you there.